Hello my beautiful people, it's me Julia Mann, owner and founder of Lash Tribe. We help create successful and fully booked lash artists all over the world with the help of our online and in-person training programs. Today we have a very special guest on our podcast. Actually, it wasn't so much recorded as a podcast as it was a live video on the Elleebana Instagram story, which you can find on their channel as well on Instagram, so go and check it out. I was speaking to Otto Mitter, who actually asked me to be part of his Instagram stories just before I'm recording this part of the video, and we were live for about an hour, and it was such a valuable live session with both of us telling our stories on how we manage groups and how to deal with negative feedback for salon owners and social media things that I thought it was so invaluable. So I really needed to share this with you guys as well. Otto Mitter is the owner of Elleebana. Elleebana is a huge global brand with trainers all over the world that specifically specializes in lash lifting, but also does a lot of amazing brow work as well as eyelash extensions. So today I am showing you the live video we recorded on his Instagram stories. So I really hope you enjoy it and you take lots of valuable lessons from it. So with any further ado, let's get right into the video.
Those comments always come from people that I've never met, they've never done anything, have nothing to do with me or the brand. They may have heard something from someone else, and you know, stuff like that always happens. You just have to have your own good morals, and if it gets out of hand, you have to have a good legal team. That's all. Hi, how are you?
Hi, really well, thanks. Good to see you.
Good. Yeah,
I know
good
we've
to
been
see
talking a little bit via message over the last few months, and we've done a few little things together, some things that we did during COVID and helping people out and having a chat, but I haven't had a chance to really talk to you too much lately. And what's been going on at Lash Tribe?
Oh, look, I think the whole COVID situation just kind of hit not just myself, but everyone like a brick. So I'm just trying to, you know, get back into trainings, and a lot of Victorians that I had, they are not able to travel at the moment. So just trying to organize things, because we're based in Brisbane, and it's very hard for a lot of people to actually train now at the moment.
It sure is. It sure is. So are you doing a lot of your online trainings at the moment?
Yeah, so online was obviously really big once everything started hitting the fan about 8 weeks ago. The online training went really big all over the world.
Yeah. So today I thought we'd chat a little bit about social media and groups, and you've been a bit of a pioneer, obviously working with Lash Tribe and starting the Lash Tribe community. That's been such a good group. I remember when you started that group, you did do something different with it. It was a little bit more nurtured. It was managed well. It just was a bit of it was a breath of fresh air, I think, in the forum community. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, because you've done such a good job with it.
Let's do it.
What do you think the evolution of Facebook forums is going to be at the moment?
Well, I can say from where it was in 2016, that's when it all started. There was nothing out there at all. People held on to all the information very close to the heart, didn't want to give anything away. And I felt that I was a little bit frustrated about that. And that's how Lash Tribe started. And obviously it evolved a lot over the last 4 years. And more and more forums have popped up. Some are well managed, some are not. Some are very spammy and everyone is just trying to sell things. And some are just random groups that have kind of come up. And I don't know, I can tell you what I'm hoping for. I really don't know what it's going to be like, because Mark Zuckerberg always comes out with really crazy ideas. But from what I've been following for the last 2 years, they're really trying to push groups and communities a lot more and trying to create safe spaces. And they still haven't gotten to that stage yet, because a lot of groups are still very ill managed. They don't have any terms and conditions, things like that. But I'm really hoping that it will go down that path, that it's going to be a very safe space. Maybe we can run different courses within those groups as well. I know they have things like units where you can upload files and things like that, but it's still not that good. Like, it's still like, I wouldn't want to use it at the moment. But as a community thing, and having all my students in the, like, their VIP groups, like their classic, their volume, their mega volume, their business groups, it's just great, you know, to keep up to date with everyone. But I'm hoping for more perks within the groups.
Hoping for some more perks within the group soon.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've definitely seen you utilize all the different options that you can use in groups, but obviously having more perks soon. Sometimes you'll have groups within a group. Is that setting up a whole new group, really, or is that something different?
I think it's more based on interests of the people in the group, because sometimes you have people joining that are, say, for example, a beauty salon. They might be interested in lashes, they might be interested in lash lifts, or they might be interested in eyebrows. And I think having those subgroups or sub-mini forums would be really good. It's still going to be the same umbrella, so I don't have to manage 20 groups. I already have a lot of groups. You wouldn't believe how many groups I have right now. But it would be something...
It's a lot of management.
Yeah, maybe something they could, I don't know, put right at the top of the groups and say, click here for lashes, click here to hear everything about whatever. It's like the search function, but it's not working very well. Like, when you type in the search function right now, Elleebana, posts that were done in 2017 will pop up first. It makes no sense at the moment. It's still no structure to it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Hey, do you have any clear guidelines or tips you can give us for social media etiquette in groups? Do you ever have any challenges there that you have to manage with particular members of groups, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, of course, there's always some people that are trolls, people with fake profiles, people that just wanting to start a fight. I feel like it especially has changed throughout COVID a little bit. People are getting a little bit more straight on to other people. And I understand the frustration as well, but we still got to be kind about it. And this is something that I have done very early on, is establish really clear rules for the groups. I mean, if you open up a group now, you can already select your kind of terms and conditions, like no promotions, be kind and courteous. There's other things you can pre-select, but we have created our own. It's like quite a long list. But I also talked to a lawyer. I wanted to be really safe, and I needed to have something that, say, for example, some random person comes in and says, hey, I want to advertise my training, but then that person wasn't even trained properly and they're giving out the wrong information and wrong education. It's very dangerous. So I actually don't allow any other trainers to advertise their training unless they come to me prior. I don't have an issue. Like, the group is open for everybody, right? But I need to be super careful to keep the members safe to receive the correct information. Otherwise, they can come back to me and say, well, it's your group. You know, why did you allow this person to spam everyone, and now they are ripping everyone off? It has happened in other groups. I know that. So we have strict regulations, and we have a pinned video at the top. I have to actually re-record it. It's quite old. But that tells you the group rules. It will give you a link where to go, and you can read up on every single little terms and conditions rule that we have within the groups. And it's probably a little bit stricter than in others. And we are blocking a lot of people. We are removing a lot of comments daily. And we only allow maybe 70% of the comments, because people can't just comment automatically. It doesn't get approved straight away. We have to go through the process, myself and admins, to actually approve the post. You wouldn't believe how many people just post, look at my set of lashes, and it's like not what we would teach.
Not valuable
at all.
No.
Or people just trying to sell their things. Happens a lot.
So, and how do you go about do you contact those people at all? Do you give them any guidance when they're doing these things, or do you just let you do? Yeah,
absolutely. Like, we've got, I think 6 admins at this stage, 1 full-time virtual assistant who actually approves members and checks for fake profiles and things like that, and puts them all in a file. So we have that didn't happen straight away, of course. It was like an involvement. Maybe for the last 2.5 years or so. We keep everyone's email address because we ask for the email if they would like to. They don't have to give it at all. and we can
Yeah.
send them some information on trainings, some free stuff. And we have 6 admins at the moment that we have an admin group on Messenger, and we post every day screenshots. Do you think this should stay up? Do you think we should message this person? So it's a continuous conversation, and I'm included in that. But they mainly handle it. And then, sometimes they're messaged. If they are repeat offenders, they're not going to be messaged anymore. They're just going to be blocked.
Yeah, of course.
It's a big
And
group.
yeah, it is. It is a big group. How many members do you have in Lash Tribe now?
I haven't checked my numbers. I probably should have done that. 27,000 something.
27,000 people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible. It's incredible. And so I think a lot of people do look at the information that's coming in the groups, and you touched on this. So how do you trust that information that's coming up in forums? So people that are just, in a group, what are some tips? How do you trust that information? Obviously, you have a lot of integrity in your group, so you're approving the posts and making sure that it's great content that's going in there. But, people can get in on threads and they can say things as well. They can get in that way. How do you trust that information?
Well, you can't really trust the information. We can't say I'm going to trust everyone who posts, even though we are approving something. That doesn't mean that the people who are commenting on it are going to be nice about it, right? Everyone has their own opinion. A lot through COVID, people had a lot more time to be on the internet, and some people got really capsy, some got more helpful, which is also amazing. So it's like both sides, and we just have to get in there. People tag us a lot of the time to warn us, look, this is getting out of hand. But even though we have 6 admins at this stage, it's very difficult to stay on top of every single comment that is made. So sometimes something slips through, but we always try our best to stay on top of everything, and then warn those people. Or sometimes I will just stop the comments altogether. I will leave the post up because it's still educational, but then we will go in and we delete all the stuff where people start calling each other names. Like, what is it? Like, I know it's the internet, but there's still people behind the keyboards, right? We've got to be kind to one another. I don't understand how people start calling each other names over lashes. I don't get it.
I know. I know. It's
stay
crazy.
nice.
I think that's the thing. There's always another side to the story, and you see these forum debates, but we have to always keep that in mind that, somebody's opinion is their opinion, but there's a lot of people that stay quiet in these groups, and they don't always want to jump on the bandwagon and say what they think they should say in fear of being bullied. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I've gotten quite a lot of messages throughout the years, including my admins as well, of people saying, I don't want to be in this group anymore. People are bullying me. And this is when we then do that behind the scenes. We will message the people that were unfair. Sometimes they kind of spoke together and it was fine. But sometimes you have people that just don't get it. They think it's the internet. I type whatever I want. And then we just have to remove them. And something I always say, every now and then we put a post up when something really bad as a name calling or bullying in that kind of sense has happened, where I will say, I do not accept any bullying or any hate speech of any kind. If you do this, there's no second chance. You can't do this in a group. People go into groups because it's a safe space and because they want to learn and they want to find support in any kind of way, whether it's because they're alone at home and they don't have anyone else to talk to, or whether it is simply educational. And so this is what this group is for. It's supposed to be for education and for support. It's not there to fight one another. It's hard enough as it is, and so sometimes we just block people if they are so rude. Like, you can't change the way people talk sometimes, unfortunately, because they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't care. Some girls. Or boys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've spent a bit of time in forums as well, helping support people whenever I can. Usually with our brand, we do get people asking questions and they need technical support on certain issues. And we find that somebody might have a question about the product, the performance, or where something might not have worked how they wanted it to, or they might just have a question, but then you see other people using that as an opportunity to come in and sell, or they aren't respecting what that original question was. And it's a very difficult situation, but I think we really want people to respect that in groups. That's kind of like a code of ethics, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's difficult. I mean, this is one of the things that we say, no promotions. And that doesn't just mean you are promoting your training up front, like your original post is, we are training or we are selling products. A promotion is also something that is very sneakily done a lot of the times. Like you say, people say, for example, oh, I'm looking for a lash cleanser. What do you recommend? That's fine. Post underneath what you recommend. But if you are the company or you are affiliated to the company, you need to disclose it. This is very, very, very important. We are always disclosing. Our admins are affiliates now because I don't give them a wage to be admins every day. They are getting a cut off either products or courses that are being sold, but they need to disclose it.
Yes.
Those girls that are admins now, they have been with Lash Tribe and have done so many trainings over the last 4 years. And this is why they became admins and affiliates, right? I don't do this for everyone. I know other brands handle it differently. And we get asked every day, why do people always say something like, look at my beautiful set of lashes. I have used these and these fans. And then you go onto that person's profile and they're actually the people selling it without disclosing it. So, it can be done quite sneakily. Sometimes you have to go to their profile and see who they are. A lot of the time they are the actual company. And I think it's so confusing to the end consumer. They just want to have a real opinion of people who are actually using the product and not selling it. And so you got to really differentiate between people who are using it and not getting anything for it, or people who are advertising it because they're getting something for it. It's all about just being open about it, I think, these days anyway.
Being transparent about it. Speaking of transparency, we've had an incident recently where we've had to deal with people that have used a fake profile to say, defamatory comments and things like this. And, it is a real difficult thing to know how to navigate that sometimes, because, sometimes you feel like you want to stand up and say something about it. And then sometimes you want to bite your tongue and just not say anything and just get on with life as it is. And it's a real challenge, but I think, personally, it's always best to try and take the high road as much as possible.
You do that very well.
Thank you.
You guys do. Like, that's what I really appreciate, you guys. You always, like 99.999% of the time, you do take the high road. I look up to that. We really do try.
Thank you. We really do try. And we've been through a lot as a brand over the years, and, dealing with all sorts of kind of support issues and things like that as you move along. But, I think it's just good to, if you need to say something about somebody, you should stand behind that and not be using a fake profile or something like that to do those things. But do you seem to find any problems with that in your group?
Because we started accepting people only after checking their profiles. I think it has gotten a lot better, but in the beginning we had a lot of people that were just randomly accepted by anyone. But we changed it now. It's just admin accepting, and that, but people without a profile picture. Like, I'm not going to let you in the group. That's a bit weird. Why wouldn't you have a profile picture? Or if you don't have, have any friends, might be also a fake profile. So sometimes it still happens, but then we just remove those people. The group is too big to now go back and check for every single person if they have a fake profile or not. But I think at the moment it doesn't happen that often. But defamatory comments are also made by people without a fake profile, and that's another issue to deal with. And funnily enough, those comments always come from people that I've never met. They've never done anything, have nothing to do with me or the brand. They may have heard something from someone else, and stuff like that always happens. You just have to have your own good morals, and if it gets out of hand, you have to have a good legal team.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, people just want to, treat each other right in these groups, treat people with respect and try not
Yeah.
to, say the wrong thing there. But let's
Yeah.
jump on to another topic and something that you've been doing a lot of over the years. You've been doing a lot of education, and I've noticed lately you've been doing more trainers training. So teaching training. So teaching people how to become a great trainer in the lash industry. And what are some of the attributes that you'd look at for a good trainer? And tell us a little bit about that.
I'm so glad you asked that. I didn't even know until you said to me earlier we might touch on that. I'm like, oh, this is great because I have a lot of opinion about that at the moment.
Good.
So many girls, not just in Australia but worldwide, are coming out with their own trainer training.
Okay.
A lot of the girls haven't even lashed themselves for more than a year. A lot of girls have never even trained anyone. And so for me, it was very important that I partnered with an organization that solely looks after trainers. And so I partnered with the Canadian Association, NALA, National Association of Lash Artists, over with Levi Shepherd, and we brought the training over to Australia. So it's something that I'm really proud of, and we are conducting in person this year only. I've already had a training booked in, but unfortunately due to COVID, it had to all change. So I'm changing dates. So what I wanted to do is only really train girls who have already got extensive experience in lashing, who have to pass, they have to pass a prerequisite test with what I find are very common knowledge lash questions, but you would be surprised how many girls don't get like past 70% even trying to answer those questions.
Wow. Yeah.
And so they have to send in their certificates, people that have trained with, they need to be insured, otherwise they're not going to be able to do trainer training here. And so I need to have a lot of prerequisites, and we're not just going to take on anyone. This has changed a little bit over the last 2 years. And so we're having a 3-day in-person training course now here at Lash Tribe Academy in September, and then I'm going to do October dates as well. And it's only a handful of girls. I want to keep this really exclusive, and I only want to train those that I know are wanting to do the right thing and that are loving the business and that are not just out to make a quick buck. That is very, very important to me. And I'd rather like push the money aside if it means I'm not, push the student aside that wants to do a trainer training. If it means that I'm losing money, it doesn't bother me. I want to do the right thing, especially now that so many people are coming out with 1-day courses or a quick online course and then saying, now you're a lash trainer. And anyone can do it. I think it's dangerous, very, very dangerous, and putting the industry at a very big risk, because it all starts with the lash trainer and the support that follows after the training. And if a trainer doesn't support the student afterwards, the student will probably start getting into bad habits and, do the clients, and then may not do the great work that we really deserve in the lash industry. And that goes for anything. I think it should be like that for lash lifting. You guys doing that very well. For brows, anything to do with a face, like such a huge industry, and we need to make sure that we only get the right people to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long would it take for them, doing your course, these trainings, how long do they go for? How extensive is that? Just for people that want to know a little bit more info.
Yeah, sure. So it's an in-person course. It's for 3 days, 3 full days. There's an online course that goes with it as well. So you have all the online course for the trainer training. You're also going to join a full 6 months support of anything else that you need. The one thing I will say is, and what people always think, you're not going to be a Lash Tribe trainer. You're going to be able to set up your own training academy, and you're going to know how to write your own curriculum. And most importantly, you're also going to be eligible for trainer insurance, which in Australia, I think it's only the TAE. It might be another trainer training, I'm not sure, but I've talked to a couple of insurances, because if people are leaving your training, say, Otto, you're training a trainer, and that trainer now goes out and trains other students, and their students go out and do someone's lash lifting or lashes or whatever, and they do something bad, that student can get back to the trainer and say, well, this person trained me, so I'm going to sue that person because you told me to stab them in the eye. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Or put the lash shield in the eye. Yes, but they can do that, and this is what you need to have insurance for, right? You need to be protected, not just in the training, but even after your students have left. And so I highly recommend anyone who wants to be a trainer do both. Like, what we teach is only how to be good at lashes. We're going to go, like, it's an hour and a half just on sign acrylate training, just to really know everything in depth about it. We're going to do a full day of role play. So we either have 4 or 6. At this stage, we have 5 booked in for September. So we're aiming for 6. So we have 3 couples. One will be the student, the other one will be the trainer, and then we're going to switch it. And we're going to do that for the whole day. And everyone will really observe of the pressure, how's the hand held, like little things like that, or making them go off path a little bit, saying, I am the student, pretend student, I might apply the iPads a bit too high, you know, things like that.
Put them
you need
through
to
their
be able,
paces.
you need to be able to pick that up as a trainer, anything like that. So it's literally going to retraining you to know everything about the little things like cosmetic chemistry as well, which obviously I'm studying at the moment too.
Good.
So knowing all the things that go with the products as well, being able to explain to your students exactly what they need to tell their clients.
Yes.
It's all about knowledge. Knowledge is power. And then I know that those girls that are coming in here are also already fabulous at applying lashes. So I'm not here to teach you how to apply lashes, but it's about how to deal with your students if you have a difficult student maybe, you know, and all the legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but I'm just sharing some tips of what they need to look out for. And there's a 6-month support there too. I'm not going to give you a curriculum, but we're going to work on that. So it's all about setting you up how to develop your own curriculum that is really structured. And I recommend anyone who wants to be a trainer, perhaps do the training and assessment as well, so that you are legally also a, you know, it's not a lash trainer as such, it's just a training unit of competency.
Approved.
Government approved, but you could be any type of trainer with that. Any type of trainer. And this is why I thought it would be good to have a lash specific training course as well to go hand in hand with that. So
that's fantastic. No, that's good. It sounds like a great course. And so what plans do you have for the future for Lash Tribe? Or Lash Tribe is just growing now, so you've got the group, but you've got the brand, and anything exciting coming up? You're doing your courses that you've just spoke about.
Yeah. Look, I think I just want to stay the path at the moment and just really perfect everything. I am continuously updating modules. I'm re-recording all of the classic content at the moment, just because new things are coming out, things are changing. My knowledge grows as well, because I always train myself and do diplomas and things like the cosmetic chemistry at the moment, for example. So I always try and add things into the training curriculum. And you know what, to be quite honest, unless I get a business partner that will be just as invested in Lash Tribe as I am, I don't think I want to have a huge company with thousands of staff. It doesn't interest me. I'd rather keep small and really well known, in the sense that we want to do the right thing by everyone, and the support is superior, and Lash Tribe is always like family, right? This is what you guys do as well. So anyone can come back to us, even after 3 years of having trained with us, to be able to come for an extra support day or something like that. And I can't show you on film now, but when I set up the academy here almost 2 years ago, my plan, and COVID kind of canned that a little bit, was to always have a space that lash artists, whether they were Lash Tribe trained or not, could come to and hang out. I have a really great hangout corner. And I always wanted to have like an open door type policy, maybe even like a yearly membership where people can always come for refreshers and things like that. But who knows how that's going to be handled over the next year or two. I think we'll just have to go with the flow and see what happens. I do want to have some trainers I'm announcing a beautiful new lady who has joined from Canada, who's going to be Lash Tribe educator over there for Canada. And I might do another 2 or 3 trainers, maybe throughout Europe and the US as well. But that's probably about as much as I am wanting to grow, because I want to be able to still have the quality. And like I said, unless I have someone joining forces with me, I can't do it all on my own.
It's
and
a lot
I
to
won't,
manage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you have a bigger team and you have so many trainers all over the world. And at this stage, I don't think I have the right people to work with to do that, to be quite honest. And I'm not thinking that like franchising or anything like that is also nothing that I would want to do. So I just try and perfect everything that we have at the moment and just, you know, continue really, really great online and in-person training and fill the rooms.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now, one thing I've always loved about what you've done is you've just been so proactive with social media. You're studying, you've spent a lot of time educating yourself and doing courses and investing in learning how to promote your business, grow your business on social media. That was one thing you've really helped a lot of lash artists with in the industry, is certainly helping them on ideas on how to promote on social media. Do you want to share with me maybe 5 tips or a few tips that have really worked with you? I know it's endless, probably.
Oh,
There's
yes,
so many things.
days.
But maybe for anyone that's watching, or if anyone's got any questions here at the moment, because we'll finish up soon, but if you've got any questions, you can throw some questions to Julia about some tips for how you promote on social media, and maybe some things that have worked for her. What are some tips that help us succeed in social media? I guess, what's your first tip or the starting point for you when you've just opened up your salon and you've done your training? You know, what are you going to do next? How do I get clients in the door?
So, and I think this is something you can Google or YouTube. You know, it's something that is so, I think, common sense, but a lot of people still shy away from it. You have to be visible. You have to put your face out there. And if you are not comfortable yourself, maybe you have a team member that like to do it instead. I follow a lot of companies that have nothing to do with beauty, just for the social media aspect. I'm following a company. You guys should check them out. They are a company up in Noosa. They're called Exotica Athletic, something like that. They sell like workout clothes. I buy a lot of my workout clothes from them. They have new videos every single day. I'm following their story. I know how they're moving into a new warehouse. I've heard their entire life story. And I buy from them because of their stories and because I feel like so relatable. And I think first and foremost, people buy from people. People don't buy from companies, because this is the face of the company.
A good point.
This is why I put my face out there all the time and try and be relatable and help out and do Q&As and polls and things like that to find out what people want. And you guys do the same, you know, especially over the last 2 or 3 years. Social media is all about showing who you are, being transparent and be inspiring, and always try and lead with value, and always do it with love. It sounds so cheesy, but you got to love what you do and not think about the dollar signs in the back of your head. So it depends on the type of business that you're in, of course, but then at the end of the day, business is business as well. Any business is the same way, even though it's structured a bit differently. So it is all about being consistent on social media, sharing your story. Even if you think they might not be interested in it, they will be interested. Like, I'm sitting there for half an hour watching how they go through their warehouse. Like, I've got enough. It's so strange, but it's just because it's so so relatable.
Well, how if I can ask, how do they make that interesting? Like, going through their warehouse, are they just filming, you know, the products that they're putting together, or they're funny? Okay, so they're adding
they are themselves.
They're entertaining.
They're entertaining. They're themselves. They have good. The video editing is pretty good, even though it's still very natural. They have some upbeat music to it. Like, it's fun to watch. They are witty and they tell funny stories, and they also get, you know, sometimes serious about it. So what I always told my students when I first, because I think I was the first actually in the world to put out a lash education course for social media.
Yeah, right.
Back in 2016 it launched.
Yep.
And a few followed after that. But what I always taught was the first thing to do when you open up a salon is, hi, my name is Julia. I just opened up the salon. Let me show you through. Let me explain to you why I opened up the salon and what you can get from me. Film the services, get consent from the clients, obviously. Film the services, film your staff. What do you do in your lunch break? Like, what do you do when you are at home? Who are you as a business owner?
Yeah.
That is probably the most important.
That's the first step, building that relationship, that story, so they know genuinely where they're coming, where they're going to end up for that treatment, and feel safe and secure and interested in coming in. Okay, that's a great tip.
Yeah, and then obviously be consistent about it. So daily posting on Instagram at least once a day. Facebook keeps changing, algorithm, blah, blah, blah. But at the moment, it's anywhere between 3 and 6 times a day for some people, just to get more visibility. Live videos, doing like an actual social media strategy, hiring someone, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Getting a virtual assistant. I got one quite early on who now handles all my social media, unless I am in it, like now, or I'm talking straight into the camera. I don't post it anymore. I trained someone to do that for me. And that is really, really helpful because it's so time consuming, and really sitting down maybe on a Sunday night and structuring out like what would people be interested in to see if you are a trainer. For the week, sometimes even 2 if you are having that time. But being really clear about mixing it up as well, not all the same. Maybe some funny videos, you can repost things as well, doing some memes. Memes are big at the moment. They've always, and just being consistent in your posting. And one thing I guess that tip is more for trainers, is to actually ask what people are after. And don't just.
I've seen you do that a few times, actually, which is great. I mean, it's so simple, but you've just got to be able to go out there, ask people what they want, and be able to deliver that or work on that.
Yeah, doing a poll and being always there, leading with value and trying to find out where the issues lie and then trying to fix it. Like, do you know the movie Robots? And the big one, I don't know his name, but he says, see a need, fill a need. Like, I always live by that. See a need, fill a need, right? Yes.
Yeah, see a need, fill a need.
Yeah, that's it. So ask those questions in groups and be very observant of what people struggle with. And that's how I created all my curriculums. That's how I created my very first online course. I had no idea what I should be putting in it. That was like the very first start of me becoming a trainer. I knew what I knew, but then what do people need is a different story. So that's how I created everything. And that's how I also, when COVID hit, everyone was out of work. And I was thinking straight up, like situations like that, just put on my thinking brain straight away. What can I help those lash artists with now? So very quickly, within like 5 days, I created a brand new online course to help those lash artists throughout COVID, how to stay on top with their social media, how to collect money still while they weren't working. And I think we had like 300 something people sign up within the first week with that online course, which was called Save My Lash Business. A bit cheesy, but and now I changed it. And now it's called Grow My Lash Business. So the content's still the same. There's all the social media tips that anyone should really follow. Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, anything. Be everywhere.
Be everywhere if you can.
Be everywhere.
It's great. No, you've done such a good job with building everything. You've definitely inspired me as well. I'm not one that's on social media all the time, but I try to make time for it because I love being able to connect with people. Like you said, being there just to support and be the face of your brand, your company, and build that relationship with people. It's really so important. But you've definitely influenced me a lot and always inspired me. So
what do you do, Otto?
What do I do?
We're going to turn that around. What do you guys do on your social media? Obviously, you still have your face in it a lot too, but most of the time.
I think we share our story. And that's exactly what we do. We do share our story, and we share the story of a lot of people that work with us as well. So I think that's a big part of it, the brand really showing that story so we can connect with our audience, and people know what we're about, and they feel they see everything that we do. They know that we're genuine, where it's coming from, what we're doing, what we're working towards. And obviously we're very lucky because we've got a lot of very supportive people on our team, and people that use our products, that are sharing their stories. And, you know, so that's a big part of it. We've really nurtured that. And we do our best to really look after our clientele and our customers, just going above and beyond, you know, in any way that we can. That's always a big part of it. But yeah,
how do you handle? Sorry, and you cut out for a second. Sorry, you weren't finished. Yeah, no, just for me, maybe. You finished with that?
I'm finished. Yeah, I was just basically talking about like where does it stop? You know, lately we've been definitely sharing a lot of our story, a lot of behind the scenes. You know, there's a lot of great things coming that will be dropping soon. You know, new products, but we like to show people the journey of what we're doing.
And how do you handle negative feedback?
Well, that's an interesting one. Something that I've always tried to really, it really depends on the situation. You know, if you have somebody that gives you a negative review on your page, for example, you know, there's a few different strategies. The first thing you want to do is just delete it. You just think straight away, oh, panicking, somebody said something bad, you know, how's this happened? I think you have to really assess, you know, the situation. Listen to the client or the person that's had the problem. That's the first thing they want to know is, you know, somebody's listening to me now. They're listening to my problem and they're taking this seriously. So how am I going to assess that for the customer and make sure that their needs are being listened to? And then we have to dissect the problem. You know, maybe it's a technical support issue. You know, so then we have to go through and do the process of elimination and see exactly what that problem could be, identify that. But then it's, you know, really about trying to go above and beyond. Sometimes people just want a refund, you know, they'll just, you know, their mind is really made up on exactly what it is they might be wanting. They don't want to listen to the rationality of what could be going on. And the solutions or the reasons of why that problem actually came about. But, you know, you can't win all of these battles, that's for sure. But we certainly, if somebody leaves a bad review, we would absolutely be trying to turn that around on the page and make an example of how we do turn that around. You know, show the people that nobody is perfect. You know, we all can make mistakes. We all learn along the journey. There's a lot of factors that it could be a really small little mistake, but to the customer, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. So we have to understand that, but then trying to turn that around in a professional and public way is always good. And I've been, you know, learning a lot about how to do that just through life experience, you know, business experience, being in those situations and doing my best to help people. And I think as long as you're keeping that in mind, like you really need to help people, you know, and don't lose sight of that, as hard as it might be in some circumstances, you know, you really have to try and make that happen. So that's a big part of what we do.
Yeah, I love it. And that's why I've been following you guys very intently. And I know we've had some chats behind the scenes about situations where I was like, I don't know what to do. Should I take this public or not? Even though I had all the receipts and all the proof of whatever people were doing. But then I took the high road like you do all the time. So that was amazing. But one thing that I always teach my students in the social media classes on how to deal with negative reviews is when you go to Amazon, for example, to buy a product, what is the first thing you do when you go onto the product? You go to the negative reviews.
Oh, the negative
ones.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, the positive ones. But if there's 3 negative reviews, I want to know why did they not like the product? So that's the first thing that I go to. And then the way that the company replies actually helps me also make my buying decision. If they get catty about it or dismissive, I will say, oh, that company is a bit like, why do they do that? So if you take the high road, stay professional, admit your faults, I think this is really brownie points for the company, right?
It actually can be a positive for you.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
So rule here, don't freak out. try and work out a way of how you can make this a huge positive for your business, make an example of it. Somebody said in a group the other day about me, about one of my videos, and they said, the information that Otto has said there is inaccurate. And I actually haven't had a chance to respond to that one yet, but
what did you say, Otto?
Somebody passed it on to me, and I said, okay, well, the science and, my research and everything I said about that particular thing, I support and I believe, and that's my knowledge. But somebody's now said that I've said something inaccurate there. Sure, what is that? Please tell me what that is. But they didn't say that. They didn't go in and have any, they haven't put any reason, or they haven't been definitive or clear about how I wasn't accurate at all. So, I mean, that's something that I now need to follow up. And sure, I'm always learning as well, but I think it's a good opportunity now for me to speak to this person. And they're saying this in a public forum as well. They're not messaging me, to have a discussion. They're once you say something about somebody in a public forum, you say a negative review or you say your piece, I guess you have to expect that people have the right to come back and challenge that question or, try and get the right answers for the better of everyone concerned. Obviously, it wants to be a positive thing, but these are challenges that I definitely face, in my professional journey. And it's good. It's a learning curve. But
it influences people. It's sometimes it can be quite dangerous. And this is the thing that we're always trying to look out for in the Lash Tribe group. If dangerous advice is offered, I will delete it. Even I will obviously message the person and try and explain to them educational, this is what it's like. But if those people don't listen, it's very difficult because they can hugely influence a bigger group. Because unfortunately, there's the saying, misery loves company, especially during these times, it's very difficult. People are very quick to jump onto someone's opinion if they feel a little bit frustrated because they think they have an ally in them. And this is how it sometimes spirals out of control. And we need to stay really professional and try and kind of calm the situation. If there's anyone in the group complaining about other companies, and I see it, the first thing I will say is, have you emailed support? This is something you shouldn't discuss. You shouldn't discuss this openly in a forum because you can really damage someone's brand name, especially if some other trolls are jumping on it with them. And discuss it with the company. I'm sure that hopefully most companies have excellent customer support and there will be a solution offered. But don't make it an open drama thing. We're not YouTube with beauty drama guru channels.
My wife said something, Zoe said something amazing. It's kind of the quote of the month, I think. And it was, we like to see drama in people's lashes, not in their lives.
Absolutely. That's right.
And
life's too short.
Life is too short. But I think that's a really good point, and something we've seen a lot in forums over the years is when something negative is said, a lot of people do want to jump on and say bad things. But when somebody says something good, you're not always seeing that. I think it's a bit of give and take, but positivity, people, keep the positivity in there in these forums. It's so important for our industry. Make people smile. Let's think about that. It's really, really important.
Lead with love.
Lead with love?
Lead with love.
I love that. That's brilliant. Before we go, have you got any other little tips you want to share with me about socials or marketing? What's your number one?
I think the most important stuff I've said, obviously everything is learnable. Any new skill has to be learned. So I don't understand why people sometimes don't take shortcuts and then say it doesn't work. Well, have you learned it? It's no different to starting lashing. You won't be able to be a master lash artist if you don't practice your isolation or your fanning or your attachment. Everything is learnable, and it goes with business as well. You need to learn social media. You need to learn marketing. You're not going to be born being a social media wizard. You're not. You have to learn. So I'm here to help if you need help. Otto is there for Yeah.
mentoring support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nurais asks, Otto, do you teach laminating brows?
Lamented brows.
Oh,
La-
lamented.
no, which I think she does mean lamination.
Lamination.
Oh, and look, at this stage, no, we're not officially teaching that. There are people out there that use our products to do lamination. Our current formula, I'm not a huge fan of saying to use that for brow lamination due to things that I mentioned in the video, but I don't have anything against brow lamination at all. And we've been looking at things and working on things for years in regards to this. So stay tuned.
Yes.
But obviously, yeah, we'll let everybody know when we've got any new education that's coming out.
Oh, I'm so excited. And you're teasing it so much. I really want to know what is going on.
We have been working on a lot of things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah, we're doing a lot of things in the USA now. We're taking over there under new management and making some great improvements there, which we're really excited about. We have just a beautiful team of people, genuine integrity at the highest level, very experienced in the industry. And they're bringing a lot of knowledge and goodwill to the table for our team there. So we're blessed to have that. And yeah, everybody's going to see some great improvements over the coming weeks there, which is very exciting. Can't wait to get over there, but at the moment it's a little bit tricky with flights.
I was supposed to be there too. I was supposed to be in Canada in May.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We're hoping to get there soon. But Julia, before we go, I want to ask you a couple of questions that I like to ask my friends. What's your favorite food? Favorite food?
I love food. I just love everything. All the things. Food.
All the things.
At the moment, actually, I love, that sounds really weird, but grilled zucchini chips.
Grilled zucchini. Oh, grilled zucchini chips.
The ones from Grilled.
Wow, I wasn't. The ones from Grilled. Oh, they're incredible.
I have them every lunch because I pretend to be healthy because it's zucchini, but then it's also deep fried, so it's okay.
And you're a bit of a singer as well, so.
Oh gosh, yes.
At heart, so am I. What's your favorite song?
You did not. You did not tell me about those questions beforehand. Oh my god.
What's your favorite one of late? You got one that you like lately? Yeah.
I listen to a lot of playlists. I love Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes.
Yes, I love Shawn Mendes, and I like probably Shawn Mendes at the moment. That's what I listen to all the time while I lash. It's relaxing. He's got a nice soft voice. Yeah. Nice. But I like anything that has really nice runs in the songs.
Good.
That type of thing. I love it.
Beautiful. And what are you most grateful for?
Oh, my family.
Yeah.
Having a family and everyone is healthy and happy, even though it's hard sometimes. You know what it's like with kids. But I'm glad that we have a family and everyone's healthy and happy, and we are doing well and we're not struggling. That's what I'm grateful for.
You're doing an amazing job for the lash industry, and thanks for being my friend and joining me here today. And I hope to catch up with you again soon, just in person.
Yes,
so we can have a wine and a meal, some grilled chips,
and all the food,
some zucchini chips, all the food. And we'll catch up soon. And thanks for sharing your knowledge, your story with us. It's just great. I wish we could catch up more often, but it was good. It was good to be able to hang out with you for an hour and hear your views.
I could have
some great tips.
More. We could have talked on more and more and more. Yeah, amazing. Thank you, everybody, for the heart.
Your tips are amazing in business. Anybody watching this, check out Julia and what she's doing in the industry to help inspire us all and nurture the industry and our up-and-coming educators and lash artists. You're doing a great job, so thank you.
And ditto. Thanks for having me, Otto.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, enjoy your day, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.